Hey everyone, Chris here. I've been getting loads of questions about winter. Winter's coming up in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm running, what should I be wearing? So for in this lesson, we'd just grab my running kit bag and we'd go through what I run in, and maybe that will be useful for you. Now I'm in England, so it doesn't get that cold here. It gets down to maybe about freezing, normally a couple of degrees above that. So this stuff isn't suitable if it's going down to like minus 10 degrees Celsius, whatever the Fahrenheit equivalent is. I don't really know. But it is pretty good if it gets cold. So I'll try and start at the bottom and work up. In terms of socks, I don't have any special like winter running shoes. I just run in my regular running shoes. Normally I run in these more mile socks, but they keep shrinking and they keep getting holes in the end. And I've got some old pairs that seem good, but the newer pairs not really cutting it. So I've also now trying these Runderwear socks, and these are quite a lot thicker than the more mile ones, which I'm not sure about for summer running, but should be good for winter. I've tried them out over like 5 kilometers and they're good. But all my runs other than that are like 25 kilometers. I don't want to try untested socks on like a 2-3 hour run until I've done something in the middle. So these may be the future, these may not. I don't know yet. Then bottom half, I really like Under Armour stuff. So I have these Under Armour leggings. This is Under Armour heat gear, and I'll explain a bit more about that in a minute. But basically I just put leggings on and then I stick my shorts over the top. So yeah, I don't like go for leg warmers, and I don't replace my shorts or go for some kind of warmer short or trousers. I just stick the leggings on and the shorts over the top of those. Same on with my top layer. I've got this Under Armour base layer. Now this is Under Armour's heat gear, and technically that's meant for a base layer in the warmth. So why am I wearing this? Well, I do have the Under Armour cold gear as well, which is, it's a lot thicker. It's got these little fleecy panels. I don't know how well this is going to show up on the camera, but the whole thing is just feels way thicker than this. And the cold gear is really good when it's very cold, but I originally got these when I was playing American football, and with that there's a lot of standing around between plays and you get cold, which is why I needed the cold gear. With running, you're pretty much moving and burning, generating heat the whole time, so you stay pretty warm. So even if it's basically down to freezing, the heat gear is still fine, because actually it provides enough warmth compared to being in your shorts and t-shirt, that because you're moving the whole time while running, then the heat gear is fine. If it goes below freezing, that's when I finally tend to break out the Under Armour cold gear, but I almost never use this while running in England because it just doesn't get below freezing that often. So again, I'll just go out using my normal t-shirt, but I'll put the Under Armour base layer underneath that. Or sometimes I'll go for a t-shirt and a base layer, and if it's wet, then I'll go for one of my cycling jerseys, because I don't have any running specific jerseys, and because they spend a lot of time making the cycling jerseys really nice. This is the Endura FS260, I think it's called. It's a lightweight running cape, so cycling cape. So it stuffs down, fits in your pocket, designed for when you're on the bike. But I also have a Solomon running vest, and I took this out the other day. I was wearing my Under Armour base layer and this. It was about 3 degrees Celsius, and I got too warm, and so I could just stuff this into the back of my running pack vest. So that was really nice. It is quite warm. It's a bit boil in the bag, which is no bad thing in winter. Or I do have a thicker jacket that I can take if it's really pelting it down and I want extra rain protection, but that works really well. So yeah, Under Armour base layer, rain jacket, and then just a standard running t-shirt. I do have a few fleeces and long sleeve tops, but I don't tend to wear them a great deal. And the ones I do have, I just wear because they're club branded and I want to fit in when I'm coaching at the club. What else have I got? So gloves. Sometimes I just run in a really cheap pair of like cotton nylon smartphone touchy gloves that you can buy in the shops anywhere, or I go for these. These are kind of like my medium gloves for if I'm on the bike. These don't cut it in the winter, but for running or for biking when it's not too cold, they're all right. These are sealskin, and they do them in black as well as garish yellow. I've got them in both. I tend to keep the yellow ones for exercising, just to give me some extra visibility. And these are quite nice. They're not super warm compared to my really heavy duty gloves, but they are pretty warm. They keep the wind off you. They do have some insulation, and they've got a nice grip. You don't really need that grip for running, but my hands tend to get really cold, so I normally go out with some gloves if it's like below 10 degrees Celsius, and these are the gloves I go out in. And then on my head, I have just been grabbing just like a little headband thing. Makes me look like I'm still in the 80s. Keeps my ears warm. Just kind of squeeze my ears though, especially if I've got headphones in. But that does the job most of the time. But now I've also got this Luso. Again, it's technically a cycling product, but I tested it out for running with mixed results. It's quite insulated, but not super breathable. So it kept me warm. It really comes down all over my ears. Really does a good job of keeping my ears warm. But it's not super breathable. So when I took it off, I found quite a lot of sweat under there. And it's also got this weird reflective, which again is great when you're cycling in the dark. You don't really need it for running. But that is, I used to run in just like a woolly bobble hat. And it was okay, but this is a lot thinner and does a better job of covering my ears. So that's what I'm running at the moment. Really like the Under Armour base layer. Really like this jacket just with a t-shirt if it's not too bad. Gloves and socks I don't tend to worry about. Hope that was useful. If so, please give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe to get more running and triathlon videos in your feed.